All right. Good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing?
Come on, that was pretty lame. You can do better than that. You get free breakfast. Good morning, everyone. That's better.
Maybe they ate too much breakfast, Bill. That could be a problem. That's always my problem. I eat a big breakfast, ready to take a nap. So anyway, today is Friday, June 10th, 2022. And this is your Friday morning meeting up here this morning. Glad to have Bill Sprague with me. Bill works in the safety department, Dennis, myself, and great to have him here.
I haven't been up here in 6 months, Dave, and you are welcome.
Yes, we need to get you up here more often. You like that desk too much. I know, but we'll get you up here. But
My
anyway.
mom always said I have a face for radio.
That's pretty good. I like that. So anyway, my name's Dave White, and I, of course, work with Bill and Dennis and Steve and all the rest of us, Jamie, Pam. Who am I missing out on? Rick, Shelley. Yeah, you say one, you got to say them all. So it takes a while to get through my brain. So anyway, well, welcome everybody. Friday morning meeting. This is your guys' meeting. Our Pride Driver Associates, that's what it's about. I want to give a special shout out to those out there on the road, those delivering freight for us, that's working out there, hopefully being safe. That's what it's about. Safety number one, but picking up on time, delivering on time, and moving this nation as we speak. And trucking is very important, there's no doubt, and we're glad we have you all here this morning. So
we got about 3 weeks of a stretch with no snow on I-80, so take advantage of it.
There you go, no doubt. This is time to run I-80. So anyway, let's go out. Speaking of I-80, let's go out to Salt Lake City. We've got Aaron Ward out there this morning. Aaron, you with us?
Yes, sir.
How you doing out there?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. And we don't hear any applause, though, unlike the Troy show out there. I still think he has it piped in. And are we through on that?
See, we did that just to prove. We did that to prove it's not piped in.
Okay, you got me, man. How's it going out there in Salt Lake?
We're doing great. Summer has arrived. We're upper 80s, lower 90s. So you're probably not going to see any snow on I-80 here for a little while.
That's good to hear. So what's going on at the terminal? You got a big class this week?
We do. We had about 16 new people come in this week. And we've got a lot of people still out training on the pad. Instructors coming in to pick some up. And everything's just moving along out here.
Good deal. Appreciate you guys. And if you need anything today, you have any questions, make sure you holler at us.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it. Let's go back out east now, the other side of the United States. Pittston, Pennsylvania. We have Bill or Lisa out there.
Good morning.
That's not piped in.
Good morning.
What are you guys serving up there? I want some of that.
That guy's had too many energy drinks already this morning.
He brings the energy, he said. That's what we like.
We have Rick come here to Springfield this week and leave it in your guys' hands. It looks like you're having a party up there. That's good.
It's always good to have a party, have fun, right? Work hard, but have fun.
Good deal. How you doing, Lisa? And say hi to Bill back there in the corner. Good to see y'all.
You're doing great. Absolutely. We have great weather here. No snow in the near future. Thank goodness. In the 70s and nice weekend coming up, and even into next week. It's going to be beautiful weather.
That's good to hear. Yeah, that's 70s and low 80s I can deal with a little bit better than 90s, Bill.
Beautiful weather and plenty of freight. Things are good.
There we go. No doubt about it. So big class this week, Lisa?
Yeah, we had 35 in our class. As you can see, a lot of them are here. And we have a big line as well. So there's going to be a lot more filling in these tables real soon after they get their breakfast.
Well, that's good. If you got anything this morning, I know we're going to be coming back to you here shortly, but if you have anything, let us know. We'll get you on the mic.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Speaking of the long line at the cafeteria and the long line here, how about we give all of our different associates that do all the cafe work. They've been up since real early this morning making sure everybody gets fed. Let's give them a round of applause. They serve a lot of mouths in a very short time. So even though it takes you a few minutes to get your food, think of the hundreds of people that they're serving at the same time. So they do great work with the limited number of people back there.
No doubt, we're truly blessed, no doubt. And John Blansett and all them back there, they do a wonderful job. Good job, Bill. I like that. So let's talk about Prime here for a minute. To Prime, this is your first week of orientation. Why don't you stand and be recognized? And all three terminals, stand on up. All right, D, way to go, man. Like that little bugle horn back there. But no, welcome to our family, everybody. We have a pretty large size carrier, pretty large size company here. There's no doubt about it, but you are family now. Make it through orientation. Many of you will be getting your CDLs. It's time to be excited. And I know many of you come from different backgrounds. Some of you come from other employment. Some of you may have lost your job. And some of you just going out on a limb and trying something new. And that's great because you come to the right company. You're going to get the right training here. You're going to get that hands-on, over-the-road training here. And that's the most important. I could tell you this, when I got my CDL back in 1995, it was 2 weeks to get your CDL and a week with a trainer, and you're on your own. And I can tell you this, from my standpoint, it was quite scary when I got the keys to my truck and here's your first load and head on down the road and you'll figure it out. And that's basically what I was told. Now, I thought I was a pretty good driver. I wasn't too bad. I only had a couple accidents in 4 years. But that being said, you're getting a lot better training here than I ever received. And many of us have CDLs and had CDLs in the past. This is the best way to go. This is better than any truck driving school. And so good choice on your part. Hopefully you did your background on Prime. We've done our background on you, I'm sure. Many of you go through those interviews and all that, and we ask you questions about your past and everything from your MVR, accident record, criminal, whatever it may be, because that's important. We need to know. But now you broke through that and you're here. Welcome to the family, no doubt.
And you're going to hear a lot that we're going to say we're not perfect. Don't think, if you think you've chosen a perfect company, we're not. But we try every day to get better. These meetings are designed. That's because we are family. Now, I often think of the analogy when it comes to the safety department. We're kind of like that aunt that comes to Thanksgiving that tells you stuff you didn't really want to hear, but she's probably right at the end of the day. So when you have to come meet with safety, we're doing it because family member to family member, we're doing what we can do to help you get better. Sometimes people don't like that brought to their attention, but it's our job to make sure that we do, because if we don't and something happens to you that we could have helped prevent, we failed you. We're not perfect, but we're not going to let that happen. Okay. So if you see things that people need to work on, be transparent with us too. Let us know, because we'll always be receptive and look at those things and see if there's anything that we can do to improve and make your life and trucking better.
And this is an open forum, this meeting. You know, we've got some bullet points on paper here. We sometimes go by the bullet points, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we deviate off, just depends on what our drivers, what you all need out there. So, and what's so important about Prime, what you'll find out too, our ownership. We have one owner, Robert Lowe. Matter of fact, he's here every Friday morning. He's over getting breakfast right now, but he'll be here. He'll listen to the rest of the meeting. And that's great. Our management staff, many of them attend this as well to listen to what the drivers have to say, because this is what runs our company, is our drivers. And we appreciate every one of you. So thank you for being here. Bill, you want to talk a little safety? You want to talk about some inspections?
Sure. Let's talk about some inspections. So last week we had 112 total inspections, 74 of those clean. Give yourselves a round of applause for 66% clean rate. How is that compared to the average? We've talked to multiple DOT and law enforcement. Right now, the average across the industry is 35 to 40% clean rate. So 66 is actually down for us. We usually average around 70, and it's only because of our operators. It's not because of me, not because of Dave. It's because you guys doing the right thing all the time. When you roll into one of these inspection stations, I'm going to tell you now, keep your dash cleaned off, look presentable. Why? Because that makes a difference. It really does. We've had DOT tell us that. If you've got a messy dash with last week's lunch still sitting up there, they're going to think, what else is not in line in this truck? They're missing something. So I'm going to check it over until I find it. But if you roll through there presentable, they're going to know you represent Prime well, and they don't need to bother you. They're going to roll through, give you a clean inspection. Anybody know what a clean inspection for a lease operator pays? $100. That's right. Your time is valuable, so we want to pay you for it. Company driver, it's $25. And the other part to that is if you do get a violation on that inspection, make sure you get it into us. We, as the carrier that you operate for, are required to get that inspection signed off and sent back to the state that issued it within 15 days. So that same trip that you're on, make sure that that gets scanned in with it. If you get any tickets with it, make sure that's sent in. We've got a citations department that's here to help you with any ticket that you get, whether it to be a pay it or if you decide you want to fight it. They aren't attorneys, but they will help you find one if you need one. And a lot of times they'll help negotiate with courts. I worked in that department myself. We make calls every day to different courts and saying, is there anything you offer for truck drivers that can try to keep it off their CDL? You don't know if you don't ask, right? But one thing we see, and it still happens every single day, is we get a driver that gets flagged because they don't have their DOT medical on file. Anytime you get a new DOT medical, you're not done just because you completed it at the doctor's office. The next step is get that on file with your DMV, because I'm telling you now, you've only got a certain period of time. And as soon as that expiration date on the one that you had before expires with that DMV, they can disqualify your license. They can downgrade you to a regular license, and then you can't drive a truck. And it's never going to be convenient when it happens. You're never going to be sitting in the parking lot of the DMV when this goes down. You're going to be across the country, about 7 states away, when they decide they're going to disqualify you. And some of these states will require you to walk it in. Imagine the expense that's going to be involved in you getting off the truck, transportation all the way back to your home state just to walk it in, and then to get all the way back your truck and get back to work. Now you're behind the 8 ball, right? You're starting off in the hole. Let's not do it. As soon as you get that new DOT medical in your file, that same day, let's work with your home state and get it on file. A lot of states are now luckily moving to electronics. Okay, so you can electronically take a picture of it, download it to their app, and have it all done that way. Some are still back in the boondocks. They're not letting you do it that way. They want you to walk it in or fax it. Who faxes anymore? I mean, really? That's right. I guess the IRS, but just make sure you get it on file. Yeah. And once you do, the most important step, even if it's electronically, call them. Get somebody on the phone. And yes, I know it's inconvenient. You're going to be on the hold for a while. Yes, but it's still your livelihood, your CDL. So make sure that you call them and get someone to verify that they got it and they can read it. Have you looked at sometimes your DOT medical? Can you read what that doctor wrote? A lot of times, no, and neither can they. So make sure that they've got you updated. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about today when it comes to DOT inspections is how it impacts the company. I have a lot of drivers that'll sit down at my desk and say, well, I only got an inspection. It's not bad. Well, let me tell you why that inspection is bad as far as how it impacts Prime. When you get an inspection, if they do nothing but put it on a driver vehicle examination report and hand you that inspection and say, hey, I'm just going to give you a warning, does that impact you? Yes. It not only impacts you, it impacts us. That is what makes up our safety score as a carrier. And why is that safety score important? Is because that's what customers look at. When they're comparing Prime to another carrier, they're going to log into that CSA portal and they're going to check and compare us to that other carrier. So you can see if we have more DOT violations and our score is higher than that other carrier, they're getting our freight. That's our freight. Let's not let them do that. Let's make sure that we're checking this equipment over. Anytime that you know that there's a scale coming up, let's make sure you stop, take a 30-minute break in a safe location, look everything over. Anything can happen in transit. Lights can go out, things can happen. Not only are you going to stop and look everything over, but now you're going to know it's coming up. So you're going to be in the correct lane and you're going to anticipate it. And I'll always tell you, err on the side of caution. If you know the scale's coming up, let's say that the sign's conflicting what your in-cab signal showing you, or it just doesn't seem like it says all trucks must stop, but I'm getting a green light. Pull in. Why? Because if they intended for you to stop and you didn't, they're going to come out and get you. And you're going to get a violation for failing to stop on an open scale. And that carries a lot of CSA points. At the worst case scenario, you pull through the inspection, you've already anticipated it, so your equipment's in working order, you're going to get paid for it. But if they do have to come out and get you, you are going to get a violation, then that's going to negatively impact our CSA score. So let's just make sure we're doing good trip planning. We know they're coming up. Let's be prepared for them, and let's continue to drive this percentage clean higher and higher so drivers can get paid for those clean inspections.
All right. Any questions for Bill? Great information. All right. If you do, raise your hand later on. If something comes up, that's fine. Want to move into now a few of our safety topics we need to cover. Number one, and this is this is different. This is an anomaly, I call it. Our deer hits have gone up tremendously in the last month and a half or so. We are hitting a lot more deer for some reason. Usually in the fall, that's when they start running, when they're going through the rutting side of thing, their rutting area, and they're chasing each other and stuff like that. But for some reason, they're doing it now. So they're running around. So be aware, hey, if deer jumps out in front of you, plow it. Do not swerve. Do not hard brake. Don't try to avoid it. Just run over it. You see a bunch of them down the road crossing, probably a good idea to get on your brakes, slow down, be on the lookout, because there may be one more coming by the time you get down there. We don't want you swerving, running off onto the shoulder or something, trying to avoid them. When those things happen, usually the consequences are a lot worse than just hitting the deer. We roll a truck or run off the road, and the chances of you getting injured definitely increases. So just hit those little things, and that's fine. One thing I wanted to cover too before we get off safety is this past weekend we had our truck driving championships down in Branson. I'm going to have Brianne cue up the video here, and we're going to watch about a minute or a minute and a half. The video will be put on our Prime Facebook site too as well, so you'll be able to watch it all if you want. It's quite an event down there.
Welcome to the 2022 Missouri Truck Driving Championships. We're here this weekend to find out who the best driver in Missouri is. Come along.
Okay, turn your chest over.
All right, thank you, Brandon. Like I said, round of applause. That was awesome. Like I said, we're going to repost the whole thing out on Facebook on the Prime site as well. But quite an event to have. If you remember back in April, we had our truck driving championships, and we were able to get our team selected from that group, and that's the team that went down here to Branson. There's a total of 161 drivers that competed. From about 27 companies, I believe there was, different companies here in the state of Missouri to see who was the best of the state of Missouri. We came out with definitely some winners. There's no doubt. We have a first place to Scott Fisher. He got first place in flatbed. Yep. Also first place to Dwayne Grimm in tank class. Matter of fact, Dwayne's here. Stand up, Dwayne. Yep. Hard to believe he even wore that hat. The same one he's wearing right now. Must be lucky, no doubt. Hold on to that hat, Dwayne, because we're going to be going to nationals in Indianapolis in August. So that's great. Second place was Michael Tatum. There's Michael up there. Michael got second in tank class. And also second place was Joe Wells in 4-axle. Oh, that's Scott. That's Scott Fisher. I'm sorry, I went out of order on Brianne. Yep. That's Joe Wells there. Joe got second in 4-axle. Also, Joe, this was his first time competing, and when you're at the state truck driving championships, your first time, you're considered a rookie, no matter how many years of driving experience. So we had some people down there with 12, 14 years of driving experience, and they're rookies because it's the first time they ever competed. This was Joe's first time, and he went down, and we had 63 first-timers in the event out of the 161, and Joe pulled off a first place for Rookie of the Year. So. And Joe's a CDL instructor here, trainer as well, and does a wonderful job for us. So hopefully we'll get him back next year again going down there because things will just out. So,
Hey, while you're giving rounds of applause, let's give a round of applause for Dave White. He gives a lot of his time to this team, and he spends a lot of time working with them, preparing them, and every year he has them ready, and we put out some really good trophy case presentations over here, and it's because of the work he does with the team. So.
well, and I tell you the truth, it's not me, it's our drivers. There's no doubt. We've got some people on that team that give their heart and soul to it. And if they don't make the team, they're back here helping the ones that do get better in practice. And if you all want to be involved in this, all you got to do is show up to our picnic on Labor Day weekend. That Friday before, we're going to have another truck driving championship. And this past April, I think we had 46 or so people sign up. And last time we did this was back in 2019. We had over 70, and hopefully we'll get more than 70 drivers. And all you have to have is a CDL. Doesn't matter what C class you are, if you're B seat, C seat, or A seat, just a CDL to compete at the Prime Truck Driving Championships. We'd love to have you. We got big barbecue out there, a bunch of volunteers, our in-house folks from operations, safety, all different departments, maintenance. They're out there helping us as well and making this thing run. And it's a great event, and we'd love to have you. Then our picnic will be that Saturday, Bill.
Yeah,
and
that's a really good time. That's right.
No doubt. We're getting back to some normalcy. This is fun because last time we had our picnic was 2019. It's been too long, but we had to take a little break, but we're getting back. We're getting back in the swing of things again, and it's great.
Get together, meet new people, make new friends.
That's what makes
Eat
us
until you can't move.
There you go. That's what makes us family here. There's no doubt. We like to have a good time, and we like to work hard too, but we love to have a good time on our time off as well. So keep that on your calendar, Labor Day weekend, and it is kids friendly too as well because they'll have all kinds of blow ups and games and stuff for the kids. Bingo. All the great things there too.
Lots of really good prizes.
And a big shout out too for our truck driving championship to all of our vendors back here for, they come up financially. So we're able to hold this inside at the Hilton down in Branson. And same thing with our holiday party too. They come up with a bunch of donations, great gifts for it as well for bingo, for giveaways. So thank you to them. There's no doubt because without them, we couldn't do this. There's no doubt. So anyway,
we better get to some speakers.
Yeah, really, probably getting sick. Yeah, we went 23 minutes, Bill. See, we only thought we'd go a couple minutes, so blew that out. So let's bring up our first one here. I'll tell you what, our first one's out in Pittston. Let's go with Mr. out there in Pittston. We're going to bring up Richard Brock. Richard is our operations manager out in Pittston. I'd like to have him say a few words. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning. So I'll give you kind of update here from Pittston. A couple things I'd like to talk about. One is the trailer parking. We talk about safety a lot. We've heard you guys, everybody's complained about the trailer parking up here. We got a lot of people involved and everybody's working together. What we do ask is if you are coming to the Pittston yard, do not bring a ready empty trailer. If it does not need service, we do not want that trailer here. Get with your dispatcher, they'll get with sales and they'll find a customer to put it at, and we can keep them out there where it's servicing our customers anyway. Another thing with the dog wash, it is coming along, and if you come up here, you'll see it's getting pretty close. With that being said, our long-term driver parking is getting ready to be asphalt laid down. So if you have a vehicle up here that is in that area, you should have gotten a message already, but we're going to need those vehicles moved over, and we'll provide you a place to park. If you can't find some place, just get with security. Aside from that, orientation's big up here. Things are going really well. We had 50 scheduled for next week, so we're going to have a really good class size next week, and things are continuing to grow.
Good to hear, Richard. How about a little background on you? How long you been here at Prime, and what department did you move over from, into your current operations manager role?
So I actually started in the training department, and when my first week here at Prime, I started as a PSD. So went through and got my CDL with Prime, and then became an instructor in-house, and then was brought up here to Pittston. I've been with Prime for 7 years.
Good deal. Thank you, Richard. Anything else you want to add?
I'll go ahead and knock out your veterans. I am a veteran, and I would ask that all the veterans in the room please stand. Everybody can give them a round of applause, please.
What branch did you serve, Richard?
I was in the Navy.
How many years?
So I did 6 years and was with Marines and the Navy and kind of went all over the place. I was kind of a mutt.
Good deal. Well, thank you for your service. We appreciate it. Thanks for your talk this morning. And yeah, if you ever need anything up there in Pittston, see Richard. He'll help you out. No doubt, he's our operations manager up there. Love to help you. So, what we got next, Bill?
Let's bring up Jeff Chisholm. He works in our subrogation department. He also works in cargo claims, so he's going to kind of give you some information in both of those ways that we can hopefully do better in some of the reporting that we do if we are hit by another party, or if there's certain cargo issues that we might have, and he's going to just share some information with you. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Bill. Hey, good morning, everybody. I believe I'll start with subrogation this morning because we seem to have more and more of that occurring these days. And what that is, if you're not quite sure, is if you have your truck or trailer damaged by another party, we have a department that goes after that other party to try to collect back our damages. With that, if your truck is going to be down for a period of time, we also try to collect downtime on your behalf. Now, to make that successful, what we really need from you guys is to help us get as much information as possible at the scene of the accident. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you get hit by somebody, they're not always easy to deal with, but if you can, try to get, you know, good pictures of their truck that shows their truck numbers, their license plate, especially their DOT number, and hopefully if it has a VIN number listed on there. Ask if you can get a copy of their driver's license, a copy of their registrations, anything that we can go to the insurance company and have good information to file a claim and get something started on it. I will tell you, if you're hit by someone that's a large company like a Swift or a Snyder or JB Hunt, we can call them up with a truck number and a name, and it's pretty easy to work with. If you're hit by some smaller company, you know, they're a little bit more difficult to work with. And if they're not cooperative, we usually have to try to go to their insurance. And if we call their insurance company with maybe a driver's name and a truck number, that really doesn't mean anything to them unless we can provide VIN numbers, year, make, model. It's hard for them to set up a claim, and it really just prolongs the process. I would also say if you're hit at night, go ahead and get good pictures of the scene, you know, photos of your damages, photos of the other vehicle. But I would ask that the next day in daylight, take good photos of your truck and send those back in to us. It's better if you send photos that are not close-ups. I mean, keep in mind, we can always zoom in on these photos to see specific damages, but we really need to see the kind of the whole side of the truck or the whole area. And you can send us multiple pictures, maybe not 50 or 100 or something, but you know, send 10 or 15 good photos and we can go to work on it. One of our biggest challenges are collecting damages from shippers and receivers. Now these guys, it seems like every time they damage a trailer, we get a name, we call them, and nobody remembers it. So if you can, if you have a trailer damage at a receiver, you know, forklift damage, a hole through the side, door hinges torn off, something like that, try to get something in writing. They can either do an incident report, they can write it on your bill of lading, but try to get a name, number, and something in writing that we can pursue them down the road and find someone who knows about it, and we can provide documentation that they did hit our trailer or they did tear it up or damage it. So anything you can do there will help us, and it will help you guys as well, because we can collect, like I said, for your downtime and your truck damages. Just a real quick note on the cargo side.
Hey, Jeff, before you go into cargo, I want to share some information here that I think will maybe help if we can get in this mindset. If you have an accident where someone hits you, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about it's your personal car that just got hit. If you can think about it that way, you wouldn't just let someone hit your personal car, scrape all down the side of it. You get out and say, "What's your name, Chuck?" "Thanks, Chuck," and leave. No, you're going to want every single bit of documentation that you can possibly get to cover yourself. Well, you're representing Prime. That's your vehicle. Make sure that you get information as much as you can get. You can never get too much. We can always get too little, but we can never get too much. So think of it, this is my personal car that just got hit. I'm going to make sure that I can pursue them to the utmost availability of every information I can get to make sure that this is covered and that I'm taken care of. So think of it that way. And if you've got a party that's not cooperating with you, what's your option? Call police. A lot of times they'll say we don't do reports on public property, but if you call police and say they are not cooperating and giving me their information and they've hit me, they will come out and help exchange that information. They may not give you a report, and that's fine. But if they come out, they will help exchange that information, because a lot of times, like you said, these people aren't cooperative. Hey, yeah, I didn't hit you. Yeah, you did. Here's my damage. Well, I'm not going to give you my information. Tell them, say, hang tight. I'm going to call police. They'll come out and help exchange information. So make sure you utilize that. That's what the police are there for. They're there to get in between you two. So if he won't give the information or she won't, they will help get that information.
But
Sorry, Jeff, I just
that
wanted to
being
share
said, Bill, that's good, but also don't wait for police to show up. If you start taking pictures, start doing, be the aggressor on those, getting documentation. Because if you wait for the police, chances are they're not going to give you any of the information from the other party. They're going to separate you. They're going to say, here's this, here's that. And then Jeff's got to go do a subrogation on it. We've got to get a police report. And it may take 2, 3, 4 weeks to get that police report, and you got damage on your truck. And nobody wants that damage out there. You run down the road. So if you can exchange information, exchange it. But like Bill said, if they won't do it, then you have to call police. You don't have a choice. And that's just the way it goes. And hopefully it's just the exchange report. But sometimes it is a full report. It just depends on type of accident it is. So, but good. Go ahead.
Sometimes it is. And the other option too is if someone hits your truck at a truck stop, if there's any witness available, try to get their name, try to get their number, have them or ask them to write just a short statement of what happened. That carries a lot of weight with an insurance company. If we have an independent witness that saw what happened and can determine between the two parties, who's at fault and who's not at fault. So things like that carry a lot of weight with the insurance companies. Dash cams are huge. I'm working on a hit and run right now by a FedEx, and we are going to track this person. We have tracked this person down and started a claim with their insurance because we have their trailer and their trailer number and their license plate on the dash cam backing into the side of our truck. Without that, we'd have never known who did it. So those things have been invaluable for us. So just real quick on the cargo, I know I've taken a lot of time on the subro. Just some basic reminders. We always say block and brace your load. We always say check your seals, make sure your seals are intact, get your seals signed for. What I would like to emphasize is please check your bills. Some of our biggest claims come from running loads at the wrong temperatures. And I'm working on one now that exceeds 100,000. And that really, really hurts. It's just, when your live loaded guy talks to you about your bill of lading and asks you to check the temp, please check the temp in your bill of lading. I mean, we're not doing it just for something to do. It's very, very important, and the consequences are terrible if we don't follow procedures. And the other thing is check your trailer. Make sure that they have unloaded all the product before you turn your reefer off. And make sure that you have all of your bills signed completely and you get them all turned in. It's surprising how many claims we're getting these days because we don't have a signed bill of lading. So, just kind of do your due diligence, look at your bills, check your trailers, check your temps. And, we do those things, we're usually in pretty good shape. So.
Any questions for Jeff? Good information there, just to protect you and know what to do and what information to obtain. There's no such thing as too much information, right, Jeff?
Absolutely.
So good deal. No questions?
All right. Easy.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, easy, man. You got off. Good deal. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. All right. Who do we got next, Bill? Mr. Fitness?
Yep, bring him up.
All right. Mr. Matt Hancock. Come on up here, Matt. And is Rachel coming too? Awesome. Come on, both of you. Yeah. It's for driver health and fitness. We have Matt Hancock and Rachel with him. And the 15, you're going to cover that, right?
Sure. Yes,
There
sir.
you go, man. Jump on in.
So we just ended a competition that went from February to May, and it was our Fit in 15 program. This is the first time we've run this, and it's actually the first program in our new and revamped website on driverhealthandfitness.com. So we've had a ton of drivers that had success with that. And we are going to announce some winners today. And then the first thing I think we're going to do is we actually want to show you a video from a driver that was in that had some great success and let you hear his story.
My name is Dave Otto. I am been driving for Prime for about 4 years now. You know, I started gaining a lot of weight after I started driving, and I was very sedentary. I wasn't doing anything about it. I think I started at Prime when I was about 235, 240 pounds, and I got up to about 270. I could see the weight on me. I could feel pain in my knees, in my hips. I was getting out of breath, and I knew I had to do something. Robert Lowe, the owner of Prime, in his generosity, started this driver health and fitness program at Prime. And I thought, there's my answer. In the 15 weeks, I've dropped 30 pounds, more than 10% of my original weight, and more strength, more muscle. So yeah, my plan is to continue with this Fit in 15 program throughout the year, and just build on it. And I would encourage any driver to do it. Just follow along with the program, stay with it. You will see the results. What seems like what's impossible in the beginning, once you start having the success and seeing the results, it's like the confidence just snowballs, and you can make it work for you.
And honestly, Dave is just one of the success stories we've had. This has really been a powerful program and really eye-opening for us on, the effect that weight loss can have on not only mindset, but these drivers are talking about, it affecting their personal lives at home. Their kids are noticing they have more energy. Everything trickles into this overall mindset and weight loss mentality. And so we're really proud of all of our drivers that finished that. And Rachel has some winners to announce too.
Yes. So with the weight loss program, the competition format, there's a lot of people who do get motivated by competition. So I guess twice a year, we're going to do this competition format that has all these prizes built in. One of the categories of, prizes is being engaged in the program, being involved in our materials, and being involved with kind of, collaboration with other drivers. And so through that, you can get a lot of points. And so those points winners were Dave Otto, who you just saw on the screen, Chris Shepard, and Victoria Martin. And then we also have a raffle for all of the drivers who lost 10% or more of their body weight during that 15 weeks. So we got a bowl full of drivers' names in here that have lost 10% or more. So ranging from 10 to, and our winner actually lost 16.5% of his body weight, which is pretty awesome. So we got to make this official here with the name draw. So I'm going to shake it up real quick. Yeah. So the overall winner, the guy who lost 16.5, his name is Chris Shepard. And then we're going to draw. And it was actually, I'll put a note out there on Chris too. He actually did this program with his dad, Dave Shepard, that's here. And they've been here at Prime for a while. And it is really cool to see the camaraderie and the competition between them and the actual competition. So it was really cool for that. All right. And the winner of our raffle for drivers that lost 10% or more. Okay, driver code NISSM. So that's Mike Nisley. Yep. So let's give a round of applause. I think that's all of our, yeah. Yep. So these drivers have really worked hard over this 15 weeks. February to May, that's a long time. And they practice healthy eating habits. And the good thing is they did it in a sustainable way. 1 to 2 pounds per week is going to be healthy weight loss. We talk to a lot of drivers in this program and we ask what their goals are. And they say, I want to lose, 5 to 10 pounds a week. And so what we do is we dial that down. We dial it into manageable aspects that you can do by losing that sustainable weight. And what most of these drivers honestly did is they're not done. They actually went in after the 15 weeks and enrolled in our year-round program for Fit in 15. And so they're still after it and they're still losing weight. We're still talking to them every week. And that's really what this program is about. It's about accountability. You'll talk to our DHF staff members and our team to keep you on track and to have health coaching calls that we can individualize this program for you. You'll talk to our personal trainers in DHF. You'll talk to Rachel with nutrition counseling. And this program is available year round. The competition aspect where we have leaderboards and different weight categories and the prizes built in, that'll be available 2 times a year. But for all of you new drivers in here, I see a lot of vests. And if you're new to the industry, it's going to be harder and harder to get in here, to go through your training. You're going to be learning a lot in the TNT phase, but we really encourage you to take your health seriously and to get in, sign up for this program, and to really learn how to eat healthy, how to exercise. We have probably 150 follow along videos in this program. So really a lot of information that you could use inside or outside your truck. It'll save you money on eating out in the long run. It'll save you money on meds if you have that. You have to get for diabetic management, hypertension, stuff like that. And really, it's just a great program to learn how to be healthier. Maybe it's not weight loss you're concerned about, but it's going to help you in several other areas rather than weight loss as well. So we encourage you to get onto it. It's free. It's on driverhealthandfitness.com, and you can log into that new website and start doing that program today.
I got one question for you, Matt, before you leave. So we've talked about Dave and the wonderful success story there and losing weight and the losing weight challenges that you have. But what about these drivers that are new to the industry, but they're coming from something with maybe a more active lifestyle? So they're coming in pretty fit, but they're getting ready to go into a very sedentary lifestyle change. And you're going to see that when you get out in the truck. Is this just geared towards losing weight, or do you have programs where you can help them either maintain, or even if they want to lose some, but some that maybe want to get a jump start on it so they don't end up having to come to you for weight loss?
So this program is great for weight loss. It is great, though, for those coming from more active backgrounds. So if you're coming from an active background, I talk to a lot of drivers that say, I used to be in construction, or I used to be in somewhere I was on my feet all day. Well, right when you start, your basal metabolic rate, so all the calories you burn per day just living, is going to slow down. So if you came in here from an active lifestyle, you're burning 2,000 calories a day. That's going to start to trickle down, which means that you have to watch what you eat. You have to watch, your overall lifestyle compared to that. So not only do we have that program, but we also do offer one-on-one nutrition counseling, one-on-one personal training that you could do virtually. And then we are building up a diabetic management program right now as well. So we have several things people could use on there that would really benefit just overall lifestyle when you're on the road, because you don't burn as many calories, you're sitting down. And to speak to that, sitting down all day sometimes causes back pain. You might have sciatica issues. You might have some plantar fasciitis issues from, picking your foot up and down on the pedal. And so one of the things we have for that is we actually just released a stretching back pain program called Functional Freedom, and that's free on our website as well. We actually released that in 2020 and then re-released it just about a month ago in this new website format. And that's great because it's just a few minutes a day doing some stretches and mobility patterns on your bed platform that you could just do before you go to bed, while you're at a shipper receiver. So that's a great way to kind of offset the cost of sitting throughout the day too.
And I know you and I have talked about this topic before, but just kind of touch on sleep apnea. And the reason I say that is a lot of these new drivers probably never heard of sleep apnea until they got tested by a doctor that is for this industry. And this industry is very focused on sleep apnea and the effects it has on drivers. So you may now be on CPAP. And can your program, if let's say it's obstructive apnea, and it may be because we've got a little too much weight on us, can your program help them possibly get geared off of that?
It can. It helps you control risk factors. So when you talk about risk factors, you have several things you need to watch out for. So you're looking at weight gain being one of those several things, alcohol use, tobacco, those things as well. But weight gain, science and the research points to, if you lose 10% of your body weight, then you can get out of those risk factors or control your risk factors for sleep apnea, because essentially it's going to take pressure off of your airway a lot more and off of your system. So this program, we have several drivers that lost 10 to 16% that were on sleep apnea CPAP machines, and they tested into those ranges. And so it can help you get out of those categories. And that magic number, like I said, is that 10% body weight loss. That's our overall goal for this program whenever we have it, is we want to see you lose anywhere from 8 to 10% in a healthy way. And so it definitely can.
And we actually had people in that category who did get off of their CPAP machine. So that was really awesome.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So there's a lot of hard work put in by drivers, but at the same time, it's a great resource for you out there to really help you out. So you're in this, we know you came here to make money. You don't want to spend money, extra money eating out all the time, extra money on medications, doctor's appointments. You don't want to miss work from being sick and laid up. So being healthy plays a role in all these things. And that's what we're here for. And you can talk to us in person up in our office, just right above this in Driver Health and Fitness office.
We have someone out in Pittston with Maria, our personal trainer out there. And you can always talk to us, virtually as well by going to our website and signing up for a schedule with us and everything as well. So.
And Matt, one more question. What's this going to cost us? What's this going to cost the driver?
I'm glad you asked. This is absolutely free. So everything we do is completely free in driver health and fitness programs. Everything we do is going to be, just totally free. So that's the best part. That's the best way I could put it. No cost to any of this stuff. So nutrition counseling, personal training, programs, all that stuff. You sign up, you get in, and we immediately start helping you free of charge.
All right. Great information. Any questions?
And it's free because you have chosen to work for a company that cares about your health and knows that a healthy driver is a safe driver. So just remember.
Do you have to, like on the old program before you came along, do you have to log in all your foods you eat and drinks and everything?
Yeah, good question. So you're talking about the 13-week program. So they used to use, I think it was Chronometer, MyFitnessPal, those kind of things to log. Well, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So you could do two different things. These are the things we recommend. You could log in MyFitnessPal, and that's when Rachel, our dietitian, will get in there and kind of look it over and go over it with you on nutrition counseling. Or what we recommend is something called the plate method. The plate method is what I like because I don't like counting calories all the time. So that's one method that you take a plate and you make it a certain way. So that being half filled with veggies, a quarter filled with some sort of a carbohydrate, and a quarter filled with protein. If you just do that and you follow our recipes and just make it simple, that's my preferred way. And so you could do a couple different ways there. I prefer that plate method, and we teach you all about those methods. So a lot of people are more analytical and data driven. If you're like that and you like to count calories, then you could do it that way. But if you don't, and you're like me, then I just like to kind of use a visual model for it as well. So there's a couple different ways to do it in there.
All right. Any
Price
other
is right,
questions?
so take advantage
No
of it.
doubt. Price is right. So, all right. So Bill, we talked about earlier our vendors, how important they are. So I'd like to bring up our next speaker, and he is a vendor here, Andy Bell. He works for Carrier, and he's our on-site rep. So Andy, appreciate you coming up here, short notice. Usually do better in these situations, right?
Hey, that's all right.
Dave.
We don't mind.
Thanks,
We
Dave.
don't
That's what
mind.
you're saying. So appreciate it. Go ahead.
Morning, guys. Yeah, I walked by the wrong time, so he grabbed me and said, hey, can you fill in for somebody real quick? Guys, my name is Andy Bell. I'm actually on-site Carrier rep. I've been on site with Prime for about 15 years now. As a matter of fact, I just passed my 15-year anniversary mark. Thank you. It's been a long haul for sure. But I'm just going to real quick, the main thing about it, I know a lot of you guys are new drivers, reefer division stuff. Basically, the main thing I can tell you, we're coming into summer months. Do not be scared to run defrost cycles. Absolutely. We get a lot of frozen loads nowadays. Well, all the time, frozen loads. If the units freeze up, they will not cool properly. So do not be scared. Like I said, do not be scared to run a defrost cycle on a frozen load. You're not going to hurt the product, I promise you. Most of the time, if you call in, somebody says that they're not cooling right, or you're getting reefer alarms on them. Generally, what road assist guys are going to tell you is to run defrost cycles right off the get-go. Okay, back-to-back defrost cycles. You can run 2, 3, 4 of them in a row if you have to. Main thing that I tell you to do whenever I'm talking to drivers, watch. There's 2 drain tubes that come up from underneath those reefer units on the front of the trailer. If you're getting water out of those and you continually get water out of them, keep running defrost until they stop dumping water. Okay. If you're not getting any water out of them at all, check your tubes. Make sure that they're not backed up. They will get debris up in there. And if it backs up, the water has no place to go other than back inside the trailer. So remember to do that as well. One of the other things I can tell you on frozen loads, there's four floor drains on all of our trailers. Okay, one on each corner. They should have rubber kazoos on the bottom of them. If you look up underneath the trailer when you're doing your trailer inspections, if that rubber kazoo is missing, guys, use wet paper towels. Okay, if you stick wet paper towels down in there, they will freeze in there. Okay, that'll help. The reason we do that is if those paper towels are missing, or if the kazoos are missing, it'll suck air up into it. Okay, all that do is, so if you're rolling down the highway, 110 degrees outside, laugh about that, but it does get that hot nowadays. That air is pulled up into that reefer unit, and it makes the unit harder and harder to cool down. Okay, So just kind of keep those things in mind. Also pre-trip cycles, okay? Run a pre-trip cycle on them every time you pick up a trailer, every time you drop a trailer. Run a pre-trip cycle on that trailer, or on the reefer unit. If you don't know how to do the pre-trips, catch me after the meeting. I'll show you how to do them fairly, real quick. Walk by the shop, on in the trailer shop down there. The guys will help you with them. There's some videos online as well. Talk to your road assist advisors about them. Talk to your trainers about them. Okay? They should all the trainers should absolutely know how to do them. If they don't, tell the trainer to come talk to me because they need to know how to do them. Okay. That's just the key things to kind of remember, guys. It's summertime, like I said, it really on the frozen loads, it really is important to do the defrost. And a lot of guys get scared of people, a lot of drivers get scared to run them. So don't be scared to run them, like I said. Okay. Anybody got any questions for me while I'm up here?
I got one question. What's that called? A rubber kazoo?
It's called a rubber kazoo.
Is that like a drain plug? Is that like Dave White's terms?
Yes.
It's a drain plug. Okay,
It's a
good.
drain plug.
That's
yes.
what I was thinking. I never heard of a kazoo. Okay, gotcha. That's good.
Yeah. Yep.
Good information.
Yep.
All right. Any questions for Andy? Can't let him get off this easy, man. He's an outside vendor. Oh, well. So thank you, Andy, for coming up here. We appreciate it.
Well, if for some reason you don't want to publicly say what your question is, they always stick around at the back of the room, and it's just a wonderful asset to him here on site every Friday morning. They want to hear if you have any questions or concerns. They'll be back there to help you. Multiple reps are back there.
All right. Who do we got next? Man in the back.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Security Bill. So come on up here, Bill. You may want to cover too a little bit of July 4th or whatever coming up for a little security out on the road, what drivers should be doing too as well.
Well, okay, we can touch on that, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead. Buddy.
So first off, good morning, everybody. So as Dave said, we got July 4th coming up. As normally, everybody wants to go home, right? Everybody wants to go home, celebrate with the family. If we do that, please get with your fleet managers, get with safe security, figure out a safe spot to place your assets, your tractor, your trailers, whatever you've got going on. While we want to take out some party, the cargo thieves wants to go in and steal everything they can at that point in time. So cargo thefts are up this year. The good thing is food is no longer number one. Food has actually moved down to number 3 on the list. Electronics is number 1 now. So we're doing better. We're moving down on the list, but that said, it's easy to steal a whole tractor or trailer full of product because guess what? I've never seen a steak out there with a serial number on it. So if they steal it, it's easy to get rid of. So please remember, always put a lock on your trailer. We prefer the alloy lock. Secondly, if you're going to drop it somewhere, get with your fleet manager or with your sales coordinator, find a safe place to park it. And by all means, do not just drop your trailer at a truck stop because I guarantee you when you come back, it won't be there. Those are 3 things there. But the reason I also came up here today was to talk about a class that we're going to have. One of the really neat things about this company is if there's a product or a need for something, Robert tells us to go out and do it. So if you looked at the driver health safety stuff, Robert did this because there was too many drivers dying at too young of an age. He said, well, I don't want that anymore in our field. What can I do? So he developed this whole program with the help of others to help expand the life of the drivers. So we had other drivers come up and say, hey, you know what? We don't feel safe walking around truck stops. We don't feel safe in certain environments. And we want to get some kind of self-defense classes together that we can have and take that may provide us some additional information to keep us safe while we're out there. So what we have done, we have contracted with an outside firm to go ahead and provide classes and self-defense classes for anybody, any driver, any in-house employee. And the first class is going to be on June 16th, and it's going to be right upstairs here. It's going to be from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the second one will be on June 23rd. That's a Thursday also, from 3 to 5. Now, these classes are about 2 hours in length, and the gal that's teaching us teaches self-defense every day of her life here. Her husband is a police officer, so she's well-versed in it. And it's not a class where you're going to come in and they're going to pick you and teach you how to throw people across the room or how to, bust people in the jaws and all that stuff. That's not what the self-defense is about. The self-defense is more about awareness. It's about what you could carry on your person that could get you out of a situation. She's going to give you all this information. She's going to tell you, don't walk down between trailers at a truck stop. It's like a dead zone right there. You don't want to do that. You want to walk outside all the trailers, stay in the roadway, stay visible, how to walk. Don't be on your cell phone while you're walking. You know, we hear every day, don't be on your cell phone while you're driving. Well, the same thing, don't be on your cell phone while you're walking, especially in an unknown environment. You know, I have people around here walk around every day. They got their cell phones out and they're walking down. You almost see them trip down the steps because they're so engrossed in what they're doing. Well, if you're engrossed in what you're doing, you're not paying attention to everything else going on around you. So that's what this class is all about. So there's a link out there on the website. Mitch, correct? Yeah, on the app. You can just go in there, sign up for it. And the classes are coming up, like I said, well worth taking. So if anybody's got any questions or whatever, I can answer them for you now.
All right. Any questions for Bill? Good information, Bill. Thank you very much. All right. Just going to wrap it up here. A couple of safety reminders when you're out there driving this week and weeks after. You know, let's remember, number one, limit your distractions inside the cab. Focus on driving. It is 100% real deal. You have to stay away from using that cell phone. Watch how much time you're looking down away from the road, even changing channels on your radio or stereo, I guess is what they're called now. All that stuff. Keep your eyes moving, looking in those mirrors every 5 to 7 seconds, watching the gauges, looking out in front of you, because it is a full-time job. Number two, you know, when you keep that space around your vehicle, that's very important, especially the space in front. Don't be following trucks in packs. That's been an issue in the past before. And so keep that space in front of you. That's your space. You can manage that. And that's so important for safe driving out there. Our trucks set at 62 for company, 65 for lease. And there's a reason why. Number one, right now, the fuel mileage, because fuel is so expensive at this point. But number two, it's safety. And that's really probably number one is safety, is your speed, 65 and 62. You know, and that's where we want you going out there, and watch going into these cities and these towns when the speed limit drops, goes down to 45, police will be sitting there waiting for you, radar. And so don't want to get pulled over, don't want to get stopped, don't want to get an inspection if you don't have to. And that just gives them a reason. And it always starts off with, well, you were speeding 5 over and that's why I stopped you. So anything you want to add, Bill, before we wrap her up?
Just really watch construction zones. You know, in the summertime, there's a lot more construction going on. And just make sure that you're slowing down in the construction zones, because a lot of times you got cones in the way, you got concrete barriers in the way. Whatever that sign says, it doesn't necessarily mean that's got to be your max speed. You can be slower than that, and just make sure you always are and paying attention to your surroundings.
Go ahead, John.
Hey, Dave, you mentioned slowing down in fuel. 6 months ago, I slowed down from 63 to 58. My fuel cost right now, with fuel as high as it is, and I read this all the time on the PSD and the TNT Facebook page, people are complaining about fuel cost and they don't want to go lease because of fuel cost. My fuel cost last week, not this week, last week, was minus 6 cents a mile. And my fuel cost over the last 8 weeks is 7 cents a mile.
That's
Before
awesome.
that, before I slowed down, I was up like 15, 16 cents a mile.
So can you tell us what that translates as far as money in your pocket?
Last week's payroll was $300 and some extra on by going under 7 cents, minus 6 cents a mile.
John, how long you been here?
18 years.
18 years. Don't tell me you can't teach old dogs new tricks.
Yeah.
Took him 18 years, but he's doing it.
Well,
so don't tell me
right.
I can't change because I've been doing it too long.
Right. I used to do that before. And then when I quit training, I just let my speed go up. And when I went back to training, I decided to go back down to teach the students and everything. And like I said, I hear people out there all the time that are afraid of it because they don't want to pay the $6 a mile for fuel or $6 a gallon. And I'll probably get a lot of hate mail for this, but I want diesel fuel to go $10 a gallon.
You're not just paying $6. You're getting paid 6 cents. Right?
Yeah, I get paid 6 cents.
There you go.
For every mile I drive by fuel surcharge. Fuel surcharge is 55 cents. My fuel cost is about 49.
It's work smarter, not harder, right,
Yep.
John?
There you
Good
go.
job.
And plus, you're a safer driver too out there. So great job, John. Thank you for talking. So I'd like to bring up the guy that started this, our owner, Robert Lowe, started 1970 with one truck, and he's got a hell of a management team. I can tell him that. So he does a great job for us. We appreciate you. Thanks, boss. Glad to have you this morning.
Thanks. Good morning, everybody. John, you've got to figure it out. You know, we've got a great fuel program. We buy fuel right. You know, and our customers support us with nice fuel surcharge. And you're doing great. But we actually have some folks that have a negative fuel cost. All right. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. That's the way to go. I mean, who would have thought it? You know, my fuel cost when I started, they talked about 1970. My fuel cost was 20 cents a mile then, you know, and that fuel only cost 18 cents a gallon in Wyoming. And my fuel cost, so you can tell by those numbers that I didn't get very good fuel economy. I was not driving 58. I should have been maybe, but I wasn't. But, you know, speed is a big contributor there. You know, I want to recognize our new folks. I see a lot of these chartreuse or yellow vest or whatever color it is. That's to make you prominent out there when you're working around these trucks so you can be seen and we can be safer. But thanks for choosing Prime. We know you have a lot of choices out there. Thank you very much. You're very much appreciated. I expect you to be treated respectfully. That's the very minimum that we owe you. We also want you to make bank, and we owe you that. We want you to be healthy and live a long time. As has been said, you know, the truly safe driver is a healthy driver. So, you know, there's a few basic tenets that we live by here. Do your best, do what's right, treat others the way you want to be treated. And, you know, that's what we're all about. You are family now, and we want you here, and we appreciate you coming here. I want to recognize our drivers that went down to Branson and kicked some butt, bringing back the hardware. Y'all are great drivers. You know, we have some fantastic drivers. That competition is hard. That competition is hard. And our folks went down there and just showed up and, you know, won those prizes. And we're really, really proud of you. And we're going to keep on doing that. And maybe next year there'll be more in here that participate. You know, it's good stuff. We can show off our skills. We talked about health and wellness. We want you to be healthy. We want you to, you know, again, live a long time, and we want you to be as safe as possible. And the only way to do that is to be as healthy as possible. So we've got tools here to help you. You know, if these folks can help you in any way, they'll be glad to talk with you and tell you about more of our programs. And again, if I can help you in any way, please let me know. Thanks again for being here. God bless you, and please be safe.